What's up guys, Juan here, back here with another video. In today's video we're doing some more NBA news. Today we're going to be talking about Kawhi Leonard and the possibility of him going to a new team in this offseason, going to a brand new destination in the upcoming summer. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that in this video. We have 3 teams, 2 from the East and 1 from the West, and we're going to be talking about all 3 teams and the highly chances and possibilities they have of getting the new superstar acquired on their team. So yeah, obviously Kawhi, he's been in the league since 2011. He's been a great player ever since on his Spurs days, and turned and flourished into a superstar after Tim Duncan retired. Now obviously a lot of things have been happening with him recently. He joined the Clippers in a 2-year deal. A lot of people had very high expectations for the Clippers. They lost in a 3-1 lead last year in the bubble, and this season, they're now down once again 2-1 against the Mavericks. They did win Game 3, however, I do think if the Clippers have an early exit this season in the playoffs, I do think Kawhi is going to a brand new destination for next season. So yeah, we're going to be talking about 3 teams that are most likely going for Kawhi, who are targeting Kawhi, and why I think they have a likely chance to get him, especially because there's already multiple reports saying ever since the playoffs started that Kawhi has already made up his mind. He's already made his decision already before the season even got into the second round or even the conference finals of the playoffs. Apparently he has a decision already made. So let's go and talk about that, and let's talk about the 3 teams that have a high chance of getting this guy next season if he does decide to leave the Clippers. So the first team we're going to be talking about is the Miami Heat, a very young team who did very well in the NBA bubble last season. This season they did well again, however, as the recording of this video, they just got eliminated in the playoffs in Game 4 against the Bucks. The game is just finished, and the Heat are the first team to get eliminated. Yeah, Jimmy Butler and the Heat, obviously they have a lot of building blocks. They're going to try to go in a different direction for next season, and trying to target Kawhi Leonard is a massive thing for them. They don't have a draft pick in this upcoming NBA draft. So obviously it's all free agency for the Heat if they want to try to do a lot of new different things with the roster. Obviously Tyler Hero is going to stay on the team. They've been really thinking he's going to be the future guard. At point guard possibly, especially because this season they tried to experiment his playmaking abilities. Jimmy Butler, I've always thought he's a great leader. This season he still proved it. Bam Adebayo, still a great center to have. I think he's going to be a future superstar center in the league in his prime. And yeah, Duncan Robinson is a fantastic shooter, I must say. So yeah, and Victor Oladipo will be coming back next season. But I do think that this will be a great fit for Kawhi Leonard. The star trio of Bam, Kawhi, and Butler will be just so great to see together. I mean, those 3 I think work very well together, especially because Butler and Kawhi, they have great defense, so they're going to be a great duo to for teams to go up against, because they're going to be very hard to go up against to try to score the ball, because they're just great defensively. Bam is a great defensive center, Butler's a great defensive player, Kawhi is one of the greatest defenders in the league. So yeah, I mean, this team will be great defensively. And I also like Tyler Hero being at the point guard position, especially with this roster, because obviously they try to experiment his playmaking abilities, especially because of what they saw in the bubble, and I think it works. I think it really does work. I think Tyler Hero is going to be a fantastic playmaker in the future of his career, so I do think it's the smart strategic decision for the Heat to do moving forward, to try to have him at the point guard position. Obviously this team, they're going to try to do different things. They're going to have to rely on free agency because they do not have a draft pick in this upcoming NBA draft. So yeah, it's all free agency moves moving forward from next season, and I think Kawhi is the move that they have to do if they want to win a title very soon, especially because this is a core that can win a title. It's just that one more star, and if they get that one more star, I think they can win it. This Heat team, when I was watching them in the bubble, they reminded me so much of the 03-04 Pistons with the way they played, and I do think one more star can get them that championship, especially because there's teams like Brooklyn, the Milwaukee Bucks, and the Philadelphia 76ers out in the East that makes it hard to get that path to the championship. So I do think one more player could really do it for the Miami Heat. So the next team that we're going to be talking about here is the New York Knicks, a team that has shocked so many people this season with their play. This team has done great. They built around the team very well. It's a very underdog core that they have here. Derrick Rose is a great guard for this team to have. Julius Randle has emerged into pretty much a superstar with the way he's been playing this season. RJ Barrett has had a great sophomore season in the NBA, and the veterans for this team like Reggie Bullock, Taj Gibson, they've all have been great for this team. Julius Randle has been just especially great. This man really deserved that Most Improved Player award. This dude has played fantastic this year. But yeah, let's talk about the Knicks and the possibility of Kawhi being a fit. Immediately, this team will be a top 3 seed in the East, I feel like, if Kawhi is a New York Knick next season. Yeah, the way this team has played this year has been really amazing to watch. I mean, they're one of the greatest teams to watch when you really look at things with how they've been playing, because like this team's built with a lot of young players. It's a very young roster, and you know, with Julius Randle pretty much entering his prime, obviously the way he's been playing this year, I mean, the Knicks are going to be a contender to watch if they do get Kawhi. Kawhi and Julius Randle in the front court will be so fantastic to watch, especially because I think those two mesh very well together. I mean, you have Reggie Bullock shooting a lot of three-pointers. RJ Barrett has been an elite scorer for this team. Julius Randle is literally doing so many things up there on the court, passing the ball. His playmaking ability has been great. His three-point shooting has been fantastic. You know, his scoring ability has really reached an all-time high in his career. He's been getting a lot of rebounds. You know, his defense has been really remarkable this year. And, you know, there's a lot of other players that have been playing well. Like, for instance, Mitchell Robinson. Obviously, he's out for the rest of the season, but when he was playing, he was doing still really good. You know, there's other players on this roster that have done well, especially Emmanuel Quickley, a rookie that has been just really proving himself on this Knicks team, and a very future point guard for this team, obviously. Derrick Rose, like I said, he's been playing great. And yeah, this team is built great. I mean, they're an underdog team right now. They're going up against the Hawks in the first round. I think that series is going to 7. And yeah, this team has just been playing every single way that they can to possibly win any basketball game, and they've been just playing really great, I must say. So yeah, I really do think that getting Kawhi on this team, it does a lot. I mean, they're a top 3 seed in the East. They're a contender. I think if they get Kawhi, I think this team works very well when they mesh Julius Randle and Kawhi together. I think RJ Barrett is still going to be improving, especially because his development early on in his career has been just great to see. Emmanuel Quickley is going to be a great point guard. You know, the veterans probably going to come back and re-sign once their contract's up, like Taj Gibson, Reggie Bullock, and other players. Obi Toppin, you know, obviously still developing. He's been playing very well in these playoffs for the Knicks. You know, he's been doing great things for the Knicks during the playoffs, especially in clutch situations and circumstances. He's still in development. He's going to be a very athletic player for this Knicks team. And yeah, I think this Knicks team is built for success moving forward in the future already without Kawhi. And I think with Kawhi, they can really build that success for an even higher chance of winning a championship. And the final team that we're going to be talking about in this video is actually the team that has been rumored the most since the playoffs have begun, and that is the Golden State Warriors. Yes, the Golden State Warriors, a team who has been rebuilding for only one season and immediately is going back to a contender next season. Obviously Curry, I think this was his second greatest season in the league with this most recent season. I mean, he's played fantastic with this Warriors team. Jordan Poole, a very young player who's been shooting very well. James Wiseman was ruled out for the rest of the season, but he's going to be a future big man for this team. Draymond Green, he fits the system of the Warriors perfectly. Juan Toscano-Anderson is that hustle guy that you can always rely on. He's going to be a future star role player. And yeah, I mean, a lot of players on this Warriors team have emerged as really good players, and they're going to be great moving forward in the future. And think about this team with Curry and Clay. Imagine if they add Kawhi. This team is definitely a contender, and it could potentially win them another championship. I mean, the Warriors, it wasn't that long ago where we saw them build this dynasty. They built it through a draft, and then they managed to get Kevin Durant after going 73-9, losing in the finals. Then they get Durant. They win 2 more championships. They won 3 in that Warriors dynasty in 5 years. I mean, this team was built to perfection. This team did everything they possibly could to win and try to win as much as they can during mid-2000s of that, obviously that decade. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be unique to see Kawhi on this team, because obviously, you know, Curry and Clay, they're going to be the Splash Brothers. Obviously, when Clay returns, it's going to be interesting. But I actually really want to see the fit of Kawhi alongside Curry and Clay. That would be interesting. Because the thing is, like, obviously Kawhi will be in the front court. He's going to be playing with Curry and Klay. And it's going to be unique because obviously him and Klay are great defensive players. Curry is literally a shooting machine. I mean, James Wiseman, I think, is going to do very well with Kawhi on this team. And then obviously you have Draymond Green fitting the system, being that veteran leader for this Warriors team, who played well in those two play-in tournament games that the Warriors were in against the Lakers and Grizzlies. During the regular season, he was also a veteran leader, and he does a lot more. The greatest thing about Draymond Green to me is the fact that he doesn't need to score points to have an impact, and I think that's really remarkable and great, especially because his defense is really good. Wiggins, his defense this season was a very massive impact for this Warriors team. His defense was spectacular throughout the season. And, I mean, I've always thought about this, but Wiggins has been one of the most underappreciated players in the league for a while, I feel like. I mean, I've always saw him as a great player. I mean, he's proven himself a lot. I just think he's one of the most underappreciated players in the league, honestly. And obviously, there's going to be a bit of roster changes. Like, I don't think Kelly Oubre Jr. is returning to the team this year. I think he's going to a brand new team next season. And a few other players might be going somewhere, or a few trades could happen, but I think most of the core will be staying intact, especially because of what we saw this regular season and in the play-in tournament. This Warriors team was very great to watch, especially during that Grizzlies game. Like, they just kept going back and forth in that game. They kept fighting to stay alive, especially in that Lakers game. They had the lead for most of the game. Imagine if they got the win in that game. That would have been very impressive from this Warriors team. This Warriors team is good, and despite them not making the playoffs this year, it was, I mean, give them props for what they managed to accomplish and achieve this year. This team was really being doubted on, especially early on in the season, and to see them really just maintain their focus on what they wanted to achieve, I think was just remarkable. And this team is unique. It's a very interesting roster that's built because obviously the stars of the team would be veterans, but there's still a lot of young players who are hustle guys who want to prove themselves on the roster. A lot of the players here, I mean, they really just came from either the draft recently, or they came from, you know, from different type of places and managed to get a contract with the Warriors and have been playing great. Juan Toscano-Anderson is going to be a future star role player, and he's going to be great to see with this team. I mean, he's going to be a great fit alongside Kawhi as well. He was an important piece during the play-in tournament games for this Warriors team. So yeah, I think the Warriors, I think they're in a great position. With Kawhi, it will be great to see, especially because the starting lineup will be Curry, Klay, Kawhi, Draymond, and James Wiseman. That already alone could potentially make you a top 4 seed in the West, especially because of what the Western Conference is. The Western Conference is a very tough conference in the NBA. More and more players keep going to the West. Obviously, recently there's been a lot of players going to the East, but the West is still, you know, the West. I mean, the West is still crazy. So many teams are building championship rosters over there, so it's going to be difficult to contend in the West. But I think when you get Kawhi and you get Klay back, I think it's going to be very, very interesting of a team to watch. So if the Kawhi gets on the Warriors, look out for this Warriors team, because they're going to have a very huge season next season moving forward, if they do possibly get Kawhi Leonard. So guys, that is going to be it for the video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. Make sure to drop a like down below, drop a comment down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for more content and videos coming your way. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.